got that very simple low aspect ratio feeling of being able to control it so easily. It's just like a little block, comes up in one unit. It does pull back a little bit from that position down to the ground. Just a very easy, slow pull up, nothing hot. That was great fun. It's like a little go-kart. When you're riding around in the air, you know, the responses are really direct, really zippy. You can put the brake in and get it to turn incredibly tight. So that's going to be your advantage when you know, flying with a big gaggle of high-performance gliders. You're going to be able to turn right inside, right in the middle. It's really good for those really rough, punchy little cores. You can just put the brake in and go around on a dime. The brake, I found you could kind of fly in the tourist position, you know, your hands just kind of holding into the brake loops, and you can pull them down. When you get down to the carabiner, you're already getting a really good turn. I was finding a tight thermaling turn was with the brake at the bottom of the carabiner. So that's not a lot of travel. It's pretty direct and pretty immediate, and you get a turn without too much pressure. I would say about medium pressure, certainly not heavy. And with that, I wasn't using the outside brake at all. No need. The wing comes around really quickly on the inside, and you don't need to control anything to do with pitch on this glider. Absolutely steady in pitch. It really doesn't pitch at all. I mean, even in the air that I felt where I felt like a drop into a lot of sink, the glider unloaded, but it never went forward. So it's very, very controlled, restricted in pitch. But it feels nice, you know, it's very comfortable in the air. I didn't feel like I was getting a lot of feedback from the air. Certainly, you know, it does bump around a little bit in rough air, but I couldn't sense much beyond the wing. It was filtering out a lot from the air, so it doesn't unsettle you. At that class of glider, for a kind of low to mid B, you actually want the wing to be calming things down for you, and this certainly does it. Otherwise, really easy, you know, big is easy. You can go onto the bar with the ears in, no problem. They slowly come out on their own. Might need a little bit of a jab to get them going. Asymmetrics were quite easy with the small ones, obviously. With the bigger ones, it's quite a kind of quick movement because it's such a low aspect ratio wing. If you lose half the wing, it'll turn and then smack out really quickly. It won't be a problem at all. I mean, it's just going to bang out and you'll be flying again before you even know you had a collapse. But certainly there's quite a lot of energy there, you know, it does move. And I felt that in the turns, you've got to be careful that you just don't overcrank it. You know, you can put in too much brake. You can spin it in that you can get the brake down to your seat board and it'll spin. You can get too much of a turn quite quickly. So if you're putting in aggressive movements, you're going to find the glider going into a spiral quite easily. There's no protection from that, so you certainly mustn't be heavy-handed on this wing. You don't need to be. It's responsive with a little bit of input. So overall, an easy glider, an accessible glider, easy to turn, very quick responses, go-karty kind of handling, and very steady in pitch, nice on glide, very good performance climb-wise, and reasonable amount of speed. And overall, for a pilot that's maybe a talented beginner coming out of school, certainly somebody that's been flying for a year or so and wanting to get something modern in the B class, this is a really good glider, very accessible. I don't have many reservations except that you mustn't be too aggressive and heavy-handed on the cornering because it's going to speed up and spiral, but you don't need to be. So lovely wing, simple, great fun to fly, nicely made, nicely put together, and an easy choice for a mid-V. You flew the Ion 5 in Colombia. Can you tell me a little bit about what you found with the Ion 5?
Right, yeah, so I had one flight on the Ion 5 of about 3 hours. It definitely felt like a development of the Ion 4. Felt like a similar feel to it, but the handling is more responsive. It's more agile, a bit nippier, and you can turn it tighter than the Ion 4, and the performance, a bit more performance. I noticed the brake travel was shorter. I also noticed that I think the way that they've maybe got the handling that way is a little bit rollier.
Yes.
Than the Ion 4.
Yeah, I felt that as well.
A little bit
definitely.
more rolly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I needed to make sure I was checking it with a little bit of outside brake. For the level of glider, I think it gives a nice level of feedback.
Yeah.
And it's not dead and dampened. Yeah, but somehow when it tries to pitch more than about 30, 40 degrees, then it just stops. That managing it with actually pretty good handling, nice handling. For the level of glider, it's quite a nippy glider. I could cork it round, and when I tried some wing overs with it, it was really quite fun to wing over with. I don't know, I tried some, just induced a bunch of collapses, asymmetrics and full frontals, and I thought it was very, very well behaved in its class. It almost felt like an A-glider.
I think I had reasonably rough air was the sea breeze convergence.
Yeah.
When I was getting four ups on the average climbing in the sea breeze front, and it was easy. I mean, it was very balanced. I mean, it does got a little bit of roll movement, but pretty easy to control. And I mean, I didn't have any kind of wing flutter or any hint that it was going to collapse. It was very solid.
Yeah, I found the same. Yeah, I thought, for me, it feels like, wow, this is actually a very nice, fun glider to fly, for its class. Nice, nippy handling. You can have a bit of fun with it and chuck it around if you want to. But then when you're just trying to, keep it steady and stuff, it's very reassuring, very well behaved, without being, dampened mattress. It's just with a nice bit of feedback. Yeah. Yeah,
good balance. I tried to check out the speed. I think it wasn't exceptional on speed, but I think it was just it's competitive for its class. It's sort of mid-B. You kind of get 8 kilometers an hour more than trim speed, maybe a little bit more. On full bar.
I mean, I think Nova have classed it as a low B.
Okay.
And I think that's what it is in terms of pilot demands.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I found it's got a very good climb and a very good glide, but it's not. The trim speed isn't. Yeah, I found the same. Not particularly quick.
It needs to be matched with the right sort of pilot. That they gentle with the input. Because it only needs gentle input to get responses out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's definitely a little different to the Ion 4, isn't it? It's definitely...
Yeah.
They've given it a bit more nippy handling, so it requires a bit more sensitivity to not over-input. Very well balanced. Surprisingly nice handling for its class, and good performance, especially in terms of climb and glide. But just needs a little bit of finesse on the handling to make sure that you keep the turns flat and on landing approaches.
Cool. Yep. That's pretty much what I felt when I was flying today.
Okay.
Thanks for that. And I'll see you when the sun shines and the thermals come out to play.
Jolly good.
Cheers, Carlo.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.